Good morning, students. Today again I am going to continue the same chapter, agriculture. In previous video we have discussed about non-food crops, that is rubber, cotton, jute and silk. Now today we are going to discuss about technological and institutional reforms. In India, from thousands of years, we are doing agriculture. Continuous use of same agricultural land without united techno-institutional changes has limit and pace of agriculture development. Irrigation facilities are developed still in many parts of India. Agriculture is depend on monsoon and natural fertility of soil. This limitation creates serious problem for sustaining, such as a huge population and domestic animals in India. More than 60% of India's population depends on agriculture for their livelihood. Now, what are the institutional reforms? Before we are going to discuss about this, first I will explain you what is the meaning of collectivization, land reforms, white revolution. Collectivization, what it means? That small farmers would be gathered together to form one large group. These bigger farmers would be called collectives. Now, what is land reforms? These were initiated by Government of India for redistribution of agriculture land to improve the efficiency of agriculture and bring social justice to the rural people. Now, what is white revolution? It is also called Operation Flood. This was a project of the National Dairy Development Board, which made India a milk efficient nation, the largest milk producer. It doubled the milk available per person in 30 years and made dairy farming India's largest self-sustainable rural employment generator. Now, institutional reforms. Major institutional reforms include collectivization, consolidation of land holdings, that is Chakbandi, development of cooperative societies, abolition of zamindari, etc. Right of inheritance fragmented the land holding to economically unavailable units that require necessary steps for consolidation to uphold the production and productivity. So, land reform was the main focus in our 5-year plans. But the initiative could not result satisfactory because of negligences in the implementation of laws and regulation regarding land reforms. In 1960s and 1970s, Indian government seriously thought for agriculture reforms and improvement in agricultural production and productivity to make India a good agriculture country. Now, technological reforms. Technological changes include introduction of green revolution, irrigation facilities, white revolution, etc. In the late 1960s, the government initiated the green revolution for increasing crop output based on the use of modern technology, and the white revolution to increase the dairy products. Land development program. Now, this is also started by government. In the 1980s and 1990s, many institutional and technical reforms were made under land development program. First, what they have made? First, provision for crop insurance against drought, flood, cyclone, fire and diseases. Second, establishment of Grameen banks, cooperative societies and banks for providing loan facilities to the farmers at lower rates of interest. Other schemes also they have made for the farmers, that is establishment of Indian Council of Agriculture Research, agriculture universities, animal breeding centers, horticulture development, research and development in the field of meteorology and weather forecasting, etc. Kisan Credit Card scheme for giving easy and cheap loan to small farmers. Personal accident insurance scheme for Kisan credit card holders. Special weather bulletins and agricultural program for farmers were introduced through radio and television channels. Government also announced minimum support price, that is MSP, for various agriculture products like cereals, pulses and remunerative procurement price for imported crops to check the exploitation of farmers by middlemen. Now you have to write all these question and answers in your fair copy. Write another name of White Revolution. Describe the institutional and technical changes introduced in the field of agriculture. Explain any 4 institutional reform programs introduced by the government